saw yesterday, like the Witch Doctor heal is very useful for just getting into these mini skirmishes. So when it comes to these like mini fights, these ganks, Na'Vi is going to be very successful. But Complexity, they're going to farm. They're going to farm really fast. It's going to be hard for Na'Vi to push the pace. That's why they took this Lina hero, because they needed something that could wave clear aggressively and keep the lanes counter pushed in from this Nature's Prophet. Because when you play against NP, I've talked about it 100 times, you don't really want to straight up 5-on-5. You want to force people around the map to play very reactively so that you can set the tempo of the game and choose the battlefield so that you always get the advantageous fight.
Now that's NP in a nutshell, right?
Yes.
Is that you want to be able to force that. What is the subtle difference between the off lane and the safe lane? Nature's Prophet, that is a specialty of Complexity.
I think the safe lane Nature's Prophet is really cool just because it allows it so that your supports can also pick up levels. You can just do a quick gank, your supports get a level or two. You don't really sacrifice too much because this hero will get farmed no matter what. The downside, of course, though, is that yes, it does scale, but it scales in a different way than a lot of heroes. It scales so that you can continue to split push. There's never really a point on NP that you're super comfortable unless you're really far ahead taking a 5-on-5.
Right, okay. And when I was looking at, when they first picked up the Furion Spirit Breaker, I thought, man, this sounds like a pretty good answer to the Enchantress, right? Whose impact is felt so early with that extra creep, where she goes through these ganks, but you have two basically like pseudo-global heroes, right?
Yeah.
Where the Spirit Breaker can charge in, you can bring a core to any of these engagements as long as it's not ganking the Furion, but if you try to gank mid or the bottom lane, for example, they can bring a core to that engagement. I feel like that's a good way to alleviate some of that laning phase.
Oh, this is pretty cool. So they kind of messed around with them in the lanes, and so now it's an NP plus a Silencer bottom against Night Stalker, and a Jakiro and a Spirit Breaker top. So laning-wise, they've done a very good job for themselves, Complexity, and this is something that I've noticed as a trend all day, is that they want to pick these kinds of mid-heroes that are very self-sufficient, that'll almost always just trade even or do well by themselves. So we saw previous picks, Viper and Death Prophet.
Yes.
And this game, they take the Razor, just very safe heroes that they can pick early on that won't necessarily lose. They pick very strong side lanes.
So you're saying that's not something that they did specifically against Newbie?
Yes.
Right, in order to go against SCC, but you're saying this is more of, you think this is their style?
Yeah, and I think as a general sense, if you really want to kind of pigeonhole them, is they really want to teamfight you. They want to teamfight you, and they want to be able to transition it into a push. A lot of teams, or some teams, will just go for kills, and eventually it'll lead to objectives, but the point is really just to get kills, to get that snowball lead, but not. But Complexity, they really like to be able to win that fight and then immediately take towers there and after.
Okay, so now we've got the lane switch up again. Jakiro's going to be following this Chaos Knight everywhere he goes, apparently.
They absolutely have to switch that, but Na'Vi, this is the upside of having an NP on your team. It takes nothing for him to be able to swap his lane.
Yeah, and so Complexity's already getting, well, I was going to say a bit of a lead, but it looks like the slight net worth lead
another switch
to Na'Vi so far.
But General doesn't have a TP, right?
I mean, this can't be good for Crystallize, right? The Chaos Knight, we talked about it in the last series where, like, you cannot afford to have a bad laning phase. It's rare that you do as Chaos Knight, but you really got to get that jump start on that hero because he has no natural farming.
This is just kind of awkward for Na'Vi in general as mid. This is the power of the Spirit Breaker. The Nature's Prophet TP.
Roger is here with the stuns to be able to turn onto Limp, but it's not going to be fast enough to stop that first blood from going down. They might be able to trade 2 for 2. Now, maybe a third. Seneco's going to try and run down Z-Freak with the help of General. He came all the way from the off lane to help secure that extra kill, but Z-Freak moves himself away, and Maledict, 50 HP. Oh. It's enough. Just enough. Is that a level 1 Maledict? Just enough damage to be able to get that kill. A 3 for 2 exchange in the mid.
Oh, that was a lot of damage on that Maledict. But in general, no pun intended, somewhat even-ish trade just because Complexity were able to get the first blood, but very good of Na'Vi to be able to set that tone and show, if you bring heroes mid, we can bring heroes mid too. The downside, though, of course, is that nobody was bottom.
Chessie with a quick TP after the Chaos Bolt.
Nobody was bottom, though, for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you meant on the side of Na'Vi, right? Jakiro had total free lane.
Yes. But that's why Roger's going to make his way down here, and this Enchantress needs to do a lot because she's going to be the one to salvage these lanes, and Dendi already has done very good for himself, and somehow even winning this mid lane so far.
Now, do you feel like having sort of a safe, oh, they're actually going to the Jakiro in the bottom lane, Moo dropping low. This would have been a really big kill. He's getting out of range now. The Golems seem to not have any shards left. They have charge on a General, and he's just outside of range. He's going to turn maybe. They get some damage on a General with the dual breath, and now that Z-Freak is here, they can actually kill General with the help of that fire. General almost burning down.
Nighttime.
15 HP is all that he's left with. And they are going to be able to, whoa, they actually killed Kyle the top lane. Moo's going to turn against Roger again, trying to slow him down, but now he'll in turn be slowed by the enchant that Roger has in place, netted in place as well. Z-Freak is here. Chessie's joining the party. They're bringing everyone they have. Dendy, though, finishes off Moo, and he got the firepower to push back the rest of Complexity. Z-Freak and Chessie both maybe not retreating, turning, going for Roger, maybe just going to beat down Dendy.
Oh, this is a double damage charge.
Can they get a bash? Come on, the LSA. Oh, the damage from Chessie is just enough. They're going to grab Roger with a Sprout. Z-Freak does not have enough for another charge, but if they body block Roger enough with these treants, Roger's going to go the other way. Go ahead and root up Chessie. They're going to turn. Chessie is actually going to be trying to chase down Roger as best he can. Barely going to be able to get it. Z-Freak goes for the deny and neutrals, not able to. General gets himself that kill. And it looks
he's even gonna fight Chessie.
He's still going to try. What are we doing at top lane? Come on, General. He does manage to get that kill. What are we doing at top lane, man?
Very well done. As Kyle, at the same time, dies at top, but still, overall, if you look at the gold, in Complexity's favor, though, as this Razor's starting to take the lead.
Maledict, tick, tick, tick. Seneko goes for the TP out. Good of Kyle to turn around, knowing he's dead, and just gets whatever damage he can. Does end up resulting in the kill on Seneko.
Yeah, and the downside for Na'Vi right now is that they're going to lose this bottom tower relatively uncontested. So even with all these kill advantages, and they're going to go on mid, Limp, going to get gone on, the LSA is going to land, getting low, but the charge comes in. Dendy going to get hit, backed up as General is in deep for this one.
Oh, nice use of the fly there to be able to cancel the healing salve, the quick hit, but Limp is still tanky enough. The General's not going to be able to go for that kill.
Complexity should almost immediately shrine after this, reset things, as their Nature's Prophet all of a sudden has 2,600 net worth. No idea where that came from, as Moo devastating this bottom tower. As Na'Vi seems largely unconcerned by the loss of this tower, but they're not going to be able to grab any other towers on the map, so map control going to go the way of Complexity early on, and something relatively expected considering all the lane shenanigans.
Yeah, for me, this looks like Complexity read what they wanted to do, which is high aggression as they move to rotate onto Moo, but now
Chessie comes here too.
Those two global heroes are there. Now it's a 3 versus 2. What was supposed to be a 1 versus 2, a free pickoff. General is going to be able to get out of range, though. It is nighttime. Won't be able to spot him out. Z-Freak not able to get that extra charge, but still, free tower, no death there. They're getting the experience advantage. They have to, right? Because they've got that free tower. They're a little bit up in gold as well. It seems to me like Complexity read, hey, Na'Vi's going to be hyper-aggressive in the laning phase, especially once we see that Enchantress pick up. Let's pick up these heroes that can rotate a whole bunch and just try and beat them out in numbers.
Yeah, the downside of this Enchantress right now is that she wasn't able to do the catapult trick and take a tower of her own just because of all this infighting.
Yeah.
And so her game is a little bit slowed down as a result, but Crystallize still doing all right at top lane. He's kind of evened out. Second in net worth right now, and charges coming in as Z-Freak should get spotted by this mid wave. That is the most obvious charge of all time. Oh, gets hit by Roshan. If you get clipped by a bash there, ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, that makes you real unhappy. Take like 3 shots from Roshan, have a little tango,
and you're in the Rosh pit. You got to get out.
But now you've got an over-leveled Jakiro, at least in comparison to this Chaos Knight, who's now going to be matched again against the Chaos Knight.
Yes.
Crystallize is immediately out of there. He's dodging this guy at all costs.
I just realized he didn't have a DD at bottom. It's just that his model always looks like he does.
Yes.
That is so confusing.
Yeah.
My mistake, guys. As
Smoke up, Limp, General and Roger with double Hellbears and a Golem to be able to lead things off.
Z-Freak is ready, though. He could get the charge.
Oh, but he's charging on a Dendy to be able to stop that follow-up damage, but the LSA was there first. The magic damage is enough, but Fury on bounce goes and eliminates Dendy. Now they're going to go for Roger as well. Chessie TPing in, slow to attack with the heals going out, but it looks like the Silencer Nuke is just enough. A heavy Maledict onto Chessie should be enough to finish him off, but Z-Freak is going to keep moving forward, trying to go for Seneko. Gets the lucky bash, looks for another one as the Treants come in, body blocking up beautifully. Seneko's not going anywhere, turns around for the cast, but can't get out of there alive. 10-8. This game is heating up now. 8.5 minutes in, we've had a total of 18 kills, including 1 tower death as well. And Crystallize is in his happy place. He's trying to ignore all this action and just focus on farming.
He needs to. He has to play the true 1 position in a game like this, especially with Dendy's game a little bit stunted. And meanwhile, up at top during this entire action, Moo decided to continue pushing out this top lane. He's going to try to eliminate all the tier 1s. As he's going to get rooted up.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that one? It's both Moo and Chessie in the same lane here.
It's scary, though.
They've got firepower. They've got Treants in front. It's going to take a whole lot of Na'Vi to stop this tier 1 from falling.
Yes, but Na'Vi have done a very good job of keeping up in things like levels. Experience, perfectly fine. Na'Vi just barely behind in gold despite that tower advantage on the side of Complexity. And it's largely due to Complexity being able to group up together, splitting a lot more gold that way.
And you are going to say, like, they both have sort of a free farming core on both sides, right? Moo was able to take that early tower, so it feels like, oh man, they're getting so much more. But we do have Crystallize, who's kind of free farming away, and he's going to have a much larger impact later on into the game, right?
Yeah, and the upside of a hero like Lina is that she flash farms so quickly, and so that even if you're a little bit behind, you can catch up to heroes like Razor, who just don't have that ability to switch to the jungle. And Crystallize even getting what looks like a solo kill on Kyle at bottom.
Yeah, pops the Phantasm. Ooh, easy getaway there from Seneko on top of the enemy shrine. Don't know if he was doing some aggressive warding or what. Yeah. Again, we're going to see Roger pick up this early Medallion of Courage.
It's very fast.
What do you think about that Medallion pickup on these
General,
characters? Oh,
charged up, even ulted.
Level 6.
He needs a 17%.
Oh, he got the bash. Limbs there with the extra cleanup. 2, Chessie trying to defend against the Phantasm push at bottom lane.
They want to take this top tower, though. Chessie's just going to TP bottom, scare things off. He always has a TP scroll if there's a huge fight. They want to take these tier 1s out as fast as possible, though, Cap, so that they can start pressuring the map a little bit further, open things up, make it hard for Na'Vi to go into their own jungle, but Crystallize waiting in the wings. Chessie has no idea that this is happening. Seneco's coming in from the north, but he's going to immediately TP out. Barely gets it.
Great read from Chessie. And as a result, they will manage to take that top tower. So many heroes rotating to bottom.
Oh, and Dendi gonna get TP'd on mid, even charged up.
You got the link on him. Head over to mid lane, please. We got him. Treants.
The global
silence goes down just to get that extra bit of firepower, but back to the shrine. Dendi finally gets it. Meanwhile, General battling with Z-Freak right next to that tower should be able to pick up this kill as Z-Freak does not get the lucky bash to create himself space. Back over to top lane. Roger is now joined by Dendi. It's incredible how fast this game is moving around. Complexity are making this such a frenetic, chaotic game, moving heroes all around, but Na'Vi's actually keeping up.
The top.
Seneco's going to be able to come in from behind, but that Furion ult just knocked both Dendi and Roger dangerously low, and Seneko comes in.
Dendi.
He was supposed to be laying a trap, but they're too unhealthy to actually move forward. They lose Roger, and Dendi has to head back to base.
Dendi with 2 near misses is Crystallized. During that entire time was farming, but does decide to TP for that top engagement. Nothing happening, though, is now mid. And this is the kind of playstyle you want to do as a Nature's Prophet team. You're making them just look everywhere. You're giving them different looks. You're forcing TP here and there. You're making it very hard for the team to keep up. How often is it that we just see a mid-tier 1 taken completely uncontested, especially in tier 1 Dota? Not very often. It's going to go down for the side of Complexity.
So Complexity, we can say the laning phase was success in the fact that they managed to take all those outer tier 1 towers. But what do they do with this map control now?
They've got to force in things, allow Moo to continue to push out this top lane, get control of that enemy jungle. We see that they have this ward already on the shrine area right here. And just continue to get kills right now as Moo gonna get gone on. This might have been a little bit too far. First time he's going to get punished for this.
They are going to rotate over with Kyle and Limp coming in. Moo is finally going to take out from the Maledict, it looks like, but Limp is here. He's managed to take a lot of damage away from Crystallize. Still takes a lot for the Phantasm, though. Roger managed to finish him off. Chessie, he's being chased by General. Flies up in the trees to be able to fight him too, but the charge comes in. If they push off the Night Stalker, maybe Chessie can get out of here alive, and they do so successfully. Z-Freak kills him. Chessie running deeper into the trees does not have a TP out. There's no way he survives for another 17 seconds. Dendi will claim that bounty, and it seems like Complexity have overstepped their bounds and their aggression, get caught in a nasty team fight. Na'Vi pick up the big one.
And that was a result of them having this ward down. They felt very safe. They felt like they could make that rotation in time, but Na'Vi just a little bit stronger right now, and Dendi starting to scale way ahead of this Razor as he continues to just farm. Those 2 missed kills on him gonna haunt Complexity a little bit, as if you're the team that 5-mans like this, Cap, you are gonna fall behind in terms of levels and farm, especially on individual heroes, as Dendi is already level 12. No one on Complexity is even very close to that.
And it does feel like, oh, Jesse gonna be caught by General here.
Another
does not have
death.
the silence. Z-Freaks coming in. Let's see if they can get it. Oh, there goes the global silence. So Dendy's not gonna be able to finish off Jesse. And they actually turn trying to go for General, but as the global silence wears off, Dendy becomes a threat once again. So they back themselves away. Dendy's at half HP though, and they do have Limp coming in. He's going to start draining away Roger's damage, moving deeper into that tier 2 tower area. Now, Complexity, are they really going to dive so deep into this one? It looks like they're going to forgo this team fight. They already had one nasty one at that top lane. They cannot afford another engagement that gives so much golden experience back to Na'Vi.
And despite the gold lead right now, Na'Vi doing just fine. Both their cores on top of the game right now. General's had a bit of a rough time of it, but the 2 wave pushers on his team are doing very well for themselves, so everything's okay.
I am surprised that Complexity is keeping up this pace, because I thought naturally, as the map becomes a bit smaller, right, those tier 1 towers go down, if you're only defending tier 2s as Na'Vi, it's a much shorter distance to rotate.
Yes.
So I thought that maybe Na'Vi would be able to keep up with this a little bit better when it came to defending tier 2s, but Complexity is still moving them around the map with just as much aggression as they were before.
Still, it's not really leading to as much, especially after that top engagement. If you have this kind of lineup, you can't really afford to mess up. And in the past, they had this hero like this Earthshaker who would right the ship if 1 or 2 fights went wrong. This game, they don't have that huge teamfight hero that's going to turn the tide, and so their play just has to be a little bit tighter than that. And so far, Na'Vi, they're just farming faster than them. That's the big part.
Z-Freak going to be caught here. Paralyzing cast, bouncing beautifully. Z-Freak goes down. And Na'Vi don't even try and poke at the tier 1 tower, it seems. Just go right back to farming.
Yes, and meanwhile at bottom, Kyle just trying to shove the waves in, and this is what Na'Vi is trying to counteract. They're trying to counter shove the waves in. They don't really care so much, I think, about these tier 1s early on just because they are picking up these kills. And now they've taken the gold lead, despite the fact that there is a heavy tower lead on Complexity Saver. So a lot of this net worth almost empty. And with a few towers taken, Na'Vi will even widen that gap.
Okay, so it seems like Cole's slowing it down now.
They have to.
What's their next step, though? Because I'm rapidly feeling like Na'Vi's, it's becoming their game real quickly.
The issue is that oftentimes when Complexity did take a fight, it was under the Shrine area or close to it. So those fights, for the most part, are ill-attempted. And on top of that, Na'Vi almost always got that circle on them. They were able to wrap around. For Complexity, I think they need to slow down the pace of the game, allow their Nature's Prophet to do a little bit more work. But Na'Vi not going to allow that very smartly. I really like this Roshan attempt because it forces Complexity into a situation where they have to decide, but they've got no sentries on the ground. Z-Freak just going to walk in.
Z-Freak, are you going to do this?
Oh, he's going to go for it.
He's going to try. He's got that empty slot. He's
going to go for the charge.
Oh, it's a little bit too early. Roshan is not dead yet. He's going to be stunned up. Immediately blown apart, but he just picked up by Dendy. Roger almost dies, but Chessie's unable to right-click him, and the magic damage coming out from Moo is not going to be enough. Kyle's going to take out from the Maledict, surely, as Aaron is on top of him as well. So 2 losses there from Complexity, and a failed attempt to be able to snatch away the Aegis from Na'Vi.
Almost an absolutely brilliant attempt by Z-Freak. He was just a smidgen too early for that. Dendy, fast fingers, manages to pick it up. Na'Vi taking complete control of this game right now. Even though it only looks like 2,000 gold, their potential to farm is just a little bit higher, and a lot of this gold is wrapped into this tower lead, and the towers are slowly starting to get lower and lower. This mid tower already at 400 health, and if Na'Vi so chooses, I think Complexity just has to avoid these fights now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the first really big power item for the Chaos Knight, I would say, and that Echo Saber, like, it gives you such fast kills. I don't know, like, Complexity, you look at every single one of their heroes, as you said, they don't have that big team fight in the Earthshaker or something like that they do normally have. And they're also missing the fact that every single one of these cores, every single one of these heroes in general wants to be ahead, and they're finally behind in net worth and experience for once.
Yes, and meanwhile, this mid tower being shoved in, but Na'Vi not really committing to anything because they're very comfortable with this pace right now. They realize we're out farming them, guys. None of the pressure is on us to make a move. And that was the large issue, is that Complexity feels like they have to do something. You notice the smoke. They feel like they have to continuously make moves. And an ill-advised one at that. They get pinged out. Na'Vi just going to run back, and this is a very disciplined Na'Vi in the mid game. Despite what happened in the laning phase.
And that's the reason I keep on asking you, like, okay, what does Cole do next? Because it feels like the answer for Na'Vi is very simple, right? They just keep playing their game, they keep farming, they're naturally going to win the game that way.
Yes,
right?
I think
as long as they didn't get run over too early and they stayed in a decent net worth area, they're going to be good.
Complexity just has to keep shoving in the lanes, let things come a little bit more naturally to them. They can open up this bottom tier 2, and once that happens, Nature's Prophet game improves a lot. Then he's able to pressure tier 3s if ill-advised fights ever happen, as Dendi gonna get charged, but it gets canceled up because this is not necessarily a fight they might want to take.
Paralyzing Cast goes out.
This is going to be a pretty huge fight if they decide to take it. Na'Vi, even with the Aegis, and not willing to force.
I love the fact that you have the Ice Ogre. You know, throwing down the Ice Armor when you've got Razor, you've got Furion, you've got so many right-clickers on the side of Complexity. It makes it so much harder to decisively take that engagement. It looks like Complexity are going to full-on back out now that they see a 5-man coming out from Na'Vi. They're going to go for the split push at bottom lane, but that's already being counteracted as the Witch Doctor is going to try and set up the gank. You can see him
all the way around.
He's already wrapping around behind the Furion just to be able to catch him as the second TP comes in from Dendi. Now it doesn't bounce anywhere, and Chessie is going to be able to get the TP out. He's good. Nice body blocking there. He stops the secondary stun.
He's charged up. The attack speed slow is on him, though. The charge isn't going to connect, and he's just going to safely get away. Na'Vi take a tier 1 tower of their own. And this is what I said, is Complexity, they need to avoid these fights. They need to allow their Nature's Prophet to create some space.
Z-Freak. Wrong neighborhood, my friend. Wrong neighborhood. No opportunity to get a charge out. New meta.
This is how you know a team's winning. They're spamming the chat wheel stuff. In the beginning, Complexity was. They were spamming the well plates to each other.
Dendi fearlessly with an Aegis. Chipping away at that tier 1 tower. Moo's going to try and catch him, but no follow-up TPs.
No, they need to avoid all fights while this Aegis is active. And even past that maybe is, just look at how far ahead Dendi is. 3, 3, and 5, but he has the advantage of just being able to farm, shove out waves. They're always available to him.
Seneko again, wrapping around behind to set up a gank. This time it's going to be Moo caught, and the global silence is just a tad too late. Combination managed to bring Moo, the Korjuk hero, down, and the tier 1 tower is going to fall as a result.
Yeah, that's going to go down with ease as Complexity. They've got a Razor that wants to fight. This is a fighting hero cap. Every other time that they picked one of these heroes, he was able to battle early on with that lead that he gains from the tower gold, but this game consistently denied all the opportunities. As Chessie, now he's going to switch sides.
So, do you think that it's okay to have this Razor who naturally always wants to fight and everything, and at the same time have a Furion who, as you said, doesn't want to take the 5-on-5s? It seems like that there's a significant amount of... I mean, you told me once that in Dota right now, you cannot win the game without winning a team fight. It's just not possible
You have
anymore.
to be able to win a fight. But
it
hopefully,
feels like a little short-sighted not having any of that power behind you, neither the late game nor the team fighting aspect.
Well, I think the hope was that with the Spirit Breaker, Razor, Nature's Prophet combination, they could always just TP in on this mid. This isn't a Mirana or a Queen of Pain. This is a hero that should be relatively easy to kill. But both times that they went for her, they essentially had to trade out. And so it makes it so Dendi doesn't actually get that far behind. And on top of that, once Dendi gets a few levels, he can outflash from this Razor.
Kyle's going to be grabbed. Just wrong position here from Complexity. They managed to get the silence. And now, 4-second stun onto the Razor. That's a big one. They throw out the Ice Wall, but they can't actually protect him enough. Crystallize dropping lower and lower, but he goes in deep, trying to catch Moo. He's giving up his life to be able to win this team fight for his team as Dendi chases down the rest of these heroes. Laguna Blade out on the Furion. He tries to force staff himself away, deep away. He's the last surviving member of Complexity, trying to run away from General, but he just won't make it out. Well played from Kyle. General can't see him. He doesn't have flying.
No, he doesn't, and I mean, that's a morale boosting, well played, but you still lost 4 heroes in front of your tier 2. Dendi, travel boots in, immediately back alive. They're going to take this tier 2, take a lot more map control and leeway as Chessie going to TP for that arcane rune.
Whoa,
and they spawn Kyle. He is so dead.
Yo, Kyle, not the place to be.
Counter spam it.
I feel like Complexity is tilting out here.
I needed Roger to start spamming new meta.
New meta.
But Na'Vi, they're feeling it. Crowd firmly behind them.
I mean, I thought it was so insane. Complexity was playing such a blisteringly fast game.
Yes.
And Na'Vi kept up every step of the way.
They did. And it was because they recognized, okay guys, these are the fights that we can take. These are the fights that we can't. We really need to focus on this mid lane. Remember, they abandoned bottom for like 2 minutes to make sure that Dendi would always get traded out. They made sure that Limp died in that process. They dissuaded Complexity from making those moves mid, and eventually it just pays off because they have more cores that can flash farm.
That's all. I swear, that's a lot of patience to just, as Crystallize, sit there and go, all right, I'm just going to keep dodging.
He's just like, he's running up and down.
Yeah,
General's just like, I guess I'm a 4-position Night Stalker.
Yeah, exactly.
He legitimately was a 4-position Night Stalker this game. He completely gave up on farming, and Roger did a very good job with his rotations as he's going to get it done on mid. This is a lot of spell commitment, though.
They are easily going to be able to get that kill down for 45 seconds.
They don't kill him very quickly, though. Without BKBs or a Silver Edge, he does not go down as fast as you'd like.
Dendi tries a free LSA.
Yeah, and Complexity now battling back. They want this tier 2. They want to open up these tier 2s. More than this mid one, though. They want to be able to take the side tier 2s so that they can start pressuring the base a little bit more easy, especially that bottom one cap, so that they always have control of that Roshan area. Right. As a Nature's Prophet player, when you lose that tier 2 bottom, it opens up that Roshan. It makes it very difficult for Radiant to pick their fights.
Yeah, you're basically saying, hey, you want to try and take Roshan? I'm going to take your tier 3. And that's very important for keeping Shrines alive. I mean, you unlock Shrines as a Furion, it's like a freebie. You know, you're just going to keep throwing treants at him. You can't protect those Shrines anymore.
Yeah, speaking of which, just going to hover over his talents. He's got the 250 HP, very common nowadays. You want to tank up a little bit more.
Up to the top lane. Limp. He's going to be target here. They're going to try and blow him up immediately. Ice Path holds in, Crystallize, and now the Global Silence. But a lot of damage already thrown on Limp. With the Maledict on top of him, he has to continue to run himself away. Meanwhile, Denny managed to find himself a Spirit Breaker in Z-Freak. They're going into the back line as well. It looks like Moo's going to drop. Crystallize just running over all of these heroes. Well, General picks off the last hero. Chessie, the only one to make it out of those team fights alive again. A 4-for-0 this time around for Na'Vi.
Yeah, that was such an awkward fight just because Na'Vi, they didn't really target fire. They're like, we'll take 3 different skirmishes and kill all of you and lose absolutely nothing for it. 10K gold lead now at just 25 minutes into the game. For Complexity to have any shot, Chessie's going to have to do a lot of legwork right now.
Na'Vi, they're finally taking more towers than Complexity. That's one of those moments. You know, it's like the moment where your net worth is larger than the Alchemist lineup.
Yes.
It's like when you're getting more towers than the Furion lineup. That's how you know you're really ahead.
It's not just the Nature's Prophet lineup. It's when you play against a Jakiro and a Nature's Prophet, both who are core, and you start getting ahead in net worth, you start taking a little bit more map control, it becomes suffocating. The amount of plays that you get are very limited. They just took that fight at that tier 2, get absolutely wrecked as now Na'Vi going to go for another Roshan. Z-Freak, no Invis Rune this time. And once again, they don't have sentries. If he did, that would have been hilarious.
What I love about these early Roshans, it makes that second Rosh look so much better. 26-minute Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, that's your sign to go high ground. And Kyle, Dendi blinking in.
Ice Path will not save you, my friend. 31-15, Na'Vi, Aegis,
They're gonna go high ground.
5 heroes up, time to go high ground.
They've got Manta on their Chaos Knight. He's got Phantasm in just 17 seconds, and they know for a fact now that Complexity cannot fight them. But maybe with the help of these 3 shrines, this is the game changer.
3 shrines. They've got okay high ground, we'll say. In Moo being able to spam out a lot of spells, and they're pushing down that bottom tier 2 with the extra 4 treants, but Z-Freak giving up his life already. Chessie actually comes back to this team fight. They're going to try and fight this one. It looks impossible, but they're going to try anyway. Limp already being brought low. First shrine already activated, 1 by 1. They're going through the shrines, trying to keep Limp alive. It gets them out, and it gets heavy damage to Crystallize. A 3-second stun in the back line with General beating him down. He's not a support anymore. He's a core. He'll give his life up for that kill. Crystallize trying to make his way back. The AoE damage is just enough to be able to finish off that Aegis.
Sends 3.
Complexity are trying to get this extra kill, but the paralyzing cast, it's holding them in place. Crystallize is beginning to make his way out. The Sprout pushed out of that one. Nice LSA onto 2. Spirit Breaker trying to control up Crystallize as much as possible, but he's taking so much damage. Limp is instead going for the backline. These squishier heroes. Spirit Breaker ends up going down, but Limp, he's so low. Dendi last shot, no uphill miss here. Dendi
another
turns,
2-man stun.
Another 2-man LSA. Roger's gonna pick him apart 1 by 1. Moo left for last as a Eul Scepter brings him down. He gets a little damage on Dendi, but I have to feel, even if he does get this kill, it's nowhere near worth it. A Bloodstone heals up Crystallize and Roger,
and
all
get full
continue to take that tier 3.
He's gonna boot to travel in. And Complexity have wasted every single buyback in this attempt at defending. Na'Vi full HP. You've got to imagine that Complexity right now, they're getting that feeling in their stomach when they know they've lost, as Moo, last one alive. Hopeless attempt. He's going to go down as well.
There is
GG
nothing,
is called.
Nothing left in the tank for Complexity, and the crowd on their feet. A fast, aggressive game where Na'Vi are the victors.
Crowd is on their feet. Dendi giving them the thumbs up, looking very relieved. Probably a position that they haven't been in quite some time.
Yeah, Na'Vi being pressured in the early game, that doesn't sound like them. Usually they're the ones taking the first step forward.
And even more than that, finding success against a Complexity team that absolutely destroyed the second place newbie.
Yeah, easy 2-0. Weren't even close games whatsoever. And Na'Vi, they had to go the distance against Secret, but it has proved to make